911, what are you reporting?
I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?
My dog went flying through the air over the tree. I don't know how it did it.
Okay.
Damn it, I'm really confused. All I saw was my dog coming over the fence, and he was dead when she hit the ground. I didn't see any cars. All I saw was my dog coming over the fence.
What are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was?
It was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sir?
See up!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh.
All right, folks, I want to welcome our guest to the show. It is Jake from Wisconsin. Welcome to the show, Jake.
Hi, nice to be here.
I'm glad you're here, man. I've been wanting to have this conversation for a while. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about what got you interested in Bigfoot in the first place, and then we'll go into some of the experiences that you've been having out there in the woods. So let's start with what got you interested in the subject to start with.
As a kid, I had always kind of seen paranormal things and had a lot of different experiences, so I was always interested. But I went through all the phases of thinking, like, as you get older, you think, well, there's so many trail cameras. There's no way that these things actually exist, And the last few years, I just started kind of obsessing about the subject and looking into the missing 411 stuff. And I do a lot of foraging, so I'm always out in the woods, up and down the state of Wisconsin. And I grew up going to the woods too, and I had never seen anything. And last March, I came across a structure, and I got pretty excited because I had looked, while foraging plants and mushrooms and stuff like that. I had looked for years and I had never seen anything. And I came across a structure and started telling people, and they were like, yeah, all right, kind of thinking whatever. So I went back to that area, and it's a giant forest. It's a big forest, a lot of area to cover. It's a forest I've been going to for about 8 years, and it was a newer area. I was foraging chaga. So I started going back there, and the next time I found a print in the mud, and then it just developed from there.
When you say structure, give us a little bit more detail about what you're talking about with, I'm assuming you're talking like a tree structure, and then tell us a little bit about what that looked like and what you found, and then go into talking a little bit about the print. What size print was it? What did it look like?
So the structure, they often make like a pyramid or A-frame kind of shape. And it was, you could tell it wasn't a hunting blind. And there was about 4 different sticks all brought over, and it's all woven together. And they're very strange looking. Like, there's not a person coming out here and grabbing sticks from random trees, from a cedar and a birch and a hemlock and all this different stuff, and putting this together. And after, obviously because of studying the subject for a while, and I was always hoping to see something, whatever, never saw anything. And then yeah, I run into that. So got all excited. I come back the next time, and I went. The reason I went back was to find it, and you go down a trail for a while, and then you just go off. You take a right. There's this like wetland or marshland that's pretty thick, especially in fall or summer. And I had gone to the right that time, but something was just telling me. I try to listen to my intuition, and something was telling me to go to the left, so I did. And I go off a ways, and I end up finding a big print. It was bigger than human size. Yeah, I put all this on my YouTube channel there, and basically that was just videos that I was sending to my friends because I'm from the southeastern part of the state. I live up here now, and I was just putting it on there for my friends to go and check out. But yeah, it's all documented on there from the beginning until now. And I saw that print. The next time out, I ended up seeing what I call the main structure, and that thing is freaking incredible. I don't know if I've sent you pictures of that, but it's wild. It's a birch that's broken, like a big birch tree. There's a big stick they brought over with like a Y in it. They lean that in there, and all this other stuff is woven around it. So yeah, I end up finding that, and I kept going out there. So I kept pressing the issue, and I started leaving apples and different things out there. And yeah, then I believe it was April 27th. Again, I put on there, this is all I have right now is this Canon PowerShot 740. I don't have like a huge production type situation at the moment, but yeah, so I'm zooming in, and it was the first time I ever saw one. I'm pretty sure it was April 27th. I don't know, it's all on there. But he had a gray face, hair kind of messy on top, completely black eyes. And yeah, that changes you. Like that changed me for good. And shortly after that, April, yeah, it was some point in March. I was going out to the structure. That's all recorded as well. And I saw him poking his head out from behind a tree. And so yeah, that just continued. And at this point, I have tons of pictures and videos of them, like a lot. Yeah, and I'm figuring out how to see them, like they're not some flesh and blood ape that's lost and is undocumented and walking around. They have metaphysical abilities that have to be taken into account if we want to start figuring this out. So
Let's talk about the first time that you saw one. How far away was this thing when you saw it? And was it hiding behind bushes, trees? Was it out in the open?
yeah,
Tell us a little bit more about how that
no,
went.
it was in the brush, and it was smaller, and it was probably 200 yards away. And so this thing, the reason why I got it was for foraging stuff, to look at chaga up in trees. It has phenomenal zoom. Like I take really good pictures of the moon with this. So yeah, I was zooming in and I was scanning, and I listened to my intuition all the time when I'm out there. And yeah, I was scanning, and I saw the face, and I saw the hair. I haven't seen many like this. The hair was lighter, like gray. So the skin was gray on the face. The hair was gray, and the eyes were completely black. And in my mind at that point, I was like, did I really just see that? Like, did that just happen? You know, the brain steps in from what information you already have gathered throughout life and tries to rationalize what you just saw. So, yeah. And I after that, I was still like, did I really just see that? Is that what I saw? And then I see the one poking out from behind the tree. And then now at this point, January of 2023, it's, I can, these things are in any major forest that we have in the United States. And I'm confident I can figure out how to locate them and record them in any forest at this point. So,
well, let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned that these things aren't like some big dumb ape running around in the woods, right? And some of the things you and I have corresponded back and forth, and some of the pictures and some of the videos that you sent, you mentioned metaphysical abilities. So let's talk a little bit about that. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? What have you experienced with them in the woods that has led you down that path and to that understanding?
Well, so there's a lot of ways to explain this. So for me personally, I think, for anybody, if you're in tune with the woods, I think the best way to find them and locate them is you can feel like a pillar of energy when you're going out there. But I've seen them many times, and I'll lock onto them. I'll start taking pictures, and then I see them just dissipate. So they just merge into the natural world around them. The trees, the leaves, whatever, as far as our vision goes. And, the human eye, depending on what you look at, the human eye picks up like 0.5% of the visible light spectrum around us. So, like 99% of what's going on around you, the average person is not seeing or perceptive or aware of, but that fraction of a percentage is what we call reality. And these things are within that 99% most of the time. I can't prove it, but I think that it's very rare that they spend their time walking around in physical form, like as a bear or, what people are looking for. So I see them dissipate all the time. I'll see parts of a body. There's times where a couple times I've seen just legs walking. And anytime they walk, it's like they glide. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like they're kind of gliding. More often than anything, you see like just a top half or a head. But it's stuff that I don't have the answers for and can't explain, but it's stuff that we have. If we're going to figure out more, this subject hasn't gone anywhere in how many years by people banging on trees and going out there with lights and big things and looking for some lost mammal or something. I guarantee we have to look at the unknown if we want to try and figure this out. So
you mentioned gifting earlier and leaving apples for these things out. That's something I'm doing here on my property. And I'll be honest with you, I thought it was a little bit out there. I've heard of people with habituation sites in the past that do that. And I got left what I believe to be a turtle shell here on a stump on my property. So now I've got these things out there trying to actively gift. If it is in fact a Sasquatch that's doing that, I get a bunch of shit because I leave an apple out and it's been out there for 3 or 4 days and I put a camera out and I got nothing. And every time I take the SD card and the batteries out of the camera, something happens. The apple disappeared a couple of days ago. And of course, I posted about it on the social media, and people are like, oh yeah, imagine that. You leave an apple in the woods for a week and it disappears. Oh, imagine
Right.
what it could possibly be.
Right.
My answer to that was I may be feeding raccoons and squirrels. I've never said that it was a Sasquatch that took the apple in the first place, because I had one took a bite out of the first set of apples that I put out there. So the gifting thing has always been something that interests me. When you engage in this gifting exchange with them, are you having an exchange? Have they taken stuff from you? What has that been like as far as the gifting for you?
So, again, I have all this recorded on that YouTube page there, Forest Spirits and Foraging, which, again, in the beginning, it's me walking and like talking with my phone, because I'm sending it to my friends personally. But it's all documented on there. And so I had first kind of discovered this spot, and this estate area, and I came out, and I've been parking in the same spot for years when I go foraging. I park, and there's a deer there, and it's a mutilated deer, and the legs are snapped off. So you can see where they're snapped. All four legs are snapped, and the hoof part is pointing in a direction, and the bone part is pointing in a direction. And when I was freaked out, because I just found the main structure and all this stuff, whatever. So I had sat and thought about it for a week, and what I realized is that they use sticks, and they used the deer legs at that point, and different things to give you information, to tell you where they're coming from. So I followed the hoof part, and it goes along a creek, and I found more deer carcasses where they're eaten, weird looking. So that was the beginning of what I think was an interactive relationship between them. And at first I didn't know if it was like a message, like, hey, this is going to be you, or they're saying, hey, this is where we came from. So I went out to the structure. I left stuff, apples, cereal, all kinds of different things. I came back, and there was a piece of glass there where I left all this stuff, and it's thick. It's like a bottle from, I don't know, the 40s or 50s or something. It looks like something that you would cut with. So I kept that. I put rocks down, so I have like heart rocks or an arrow, whatever you want to call it, that kind of shape. And I come back, and the rocks are moved. The sticks are pointing in different directions. So yeah, there has been chunks of their hair, which I believe is their hair. I got it in bags over here at the spot. So it's the hair of something. I leave stuff, and that's what I believe they're gifting back. And then in June, I had one throw a little piece of a cedar stick at me. I was foraging reishi mushroom, and I had found a structure, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, because it was kind of upright, but it was just crisscrossing, kind of like a strange one. I hadn't seen many like that. So I was looking at it, and then I went back to go grab the reishi, which was about 40 yards away, and I start walking back to check out that structure once again, and out of the corner of my eye, I see something flying in the air, and it hits my heel, and it was a little piece of cedar wood. So I always have like when I'm walking around, I have that camera and my phone constantly on me, because stuff happens like that, and I want to be ready to catch whatever. So I turn it on and snapped a bunch of pictures, and I sent you that one. That's the one where he's hiding behind the leaves, and you can see his eye looking up. You can see the gray in his face. Those are the ones that they got a gray face. They have brown hair. Sometimes it's black. Often it's like chocolate brown. And they have a widow's peak that comes down, and they're They're more tall and slender, athletic looking, with a round human type head. And so yeah, got a picture of him behind the leaves. When he realized that I saw him, he jumped back behind some bigger bushes. So I sent you that picture too, where it's the outline of his body then. So yeah, it's a long-winded answer of stuff that I've gotten from him. But yeah, I'm keeping that stuff forever, you know?
Yeah, I find that interesting, man, that you're actually finding rocks and things that have been moved because the only thing that's ever been touched out here has been the apple. I put some sun butter, like sunflower seed butter out the other day, and I put a new turtle shell that I found out there, and the rock that I put out there in the beginning is still there. The only thing that's been touched is the apple. So hopefully we'll see if it is something more than just a squirrel or a raccoon, then maybe something else will be moved. Some of the things that you sent me, you've referred to the pictures and the videos, and we'll get into that a little bit more shortly. But there was something else that sort of intrigued me because I think one of the videos that you sent me, or maybe it was a photograph, I don't remember, you said something about humanoids that I don't know if that was something different than what you're seeing as far as the Sasquatch, or is there something else like more alien that's out there that you're seeing? Talk a little bit about the different types of things that you're seeing when you're getting these photos and videos.
Yeah, I have a 12 picture. I got 12 pictures of a green alien type thing. I can send you all that. I saw him in the brush, and you can tell. So I'm taking the picture between two sticks, so you can tell that he's moving his head, trying to avoid. He's at different spots every time. I've only seen that once. But these humanoid things that I was talking about, it was a video. I have pictures of them too. They're almost always in cedar trees, and it looks holographic. And when I'm walking around, I don't know what it may look like to other people, but it's a complete hologram looking thing, and inside of it is a human face. And it, from what I've seen, it pretty much always has like a stoic look, and it just stares at you. And you can see, if you watch the video, I mean, you can see the pupils, everything. You can see it. See, even these Sasquatch beings, whatever they are, you can take pictures of them, and they'll have like stacks of eyes. It doesn't make sense. I've seen Scott Carpenter's work that he does. He has a lot of the same pictures where there's like stacks of eyes and, you know, different faces within a face. And, you know, that's not like some undocumented mammal, you know. There's something else going on there. But yeah, the humanoid things, there's other strange things with large eyes. I don't know. We don't have names for any of it, but I have literally thousands of pictures and videos of it. So yeah, I don't know what to call them at all.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what you believe to be Bigfoot or Sasquatch that you've documented, and this sort of otherworldly kind of mythical abilities that they have. You talked about the blending in, and even what sounded like sort of like a predator cloaking type ability. Do you think that's what's going on? Do you think these things, it's something that's in their skin or maybe their hair? Because I know some people have sort of postulated on they might have something in their hair that reflects light, or does some sort of weird thing with the light to make it look like they're cloaking. Or do you think that's actually what happens because these things may be coming from another dimension or something like that? What's your thought on that?
I think that they merge between dimensions, you know. And again, like, it's hard because what do we call dimensions when the human eye picks up so little of what's around us? You know, I don't know if you ever saw the original night vision, the documents from that in Vietnam, when night vision was red originally. and soldiers were seeing all kinds of cryptids and weird things that they were shooting at. And, colonels, whatever, the higher ups in the military were wondering if these guys are on drugs or what's going on. And they put these things on. They started seeing the same stuff. And night vision has been green ever since. So, yeah, there's, it depends what we call dimensions. I think this stuff is around us at all times, and we're just in this really condensed version of reality for the most part. But yeah, as for what they are, I can send you some pictures too. I was taking pictures straight ahead this summer, and one kept poking its head out, and I can send you the whole row. And I got him twice, I believe, but it looks like the Predator thing from the movie. It's sticking its head out, and it looks just like that. And then, they're fast consecutive shots. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to. That's why I'm obsessing about the subject now. I'm going out there. I'm trying to figure this out. Like, there's so much we don't know. It's I don't know, but I'm trying to figure it out. And all these things they're generally together. I've got a lot of Dogman pictures and videos of, there'll be a Sasquatch looking being, a Dogman looking being, something with giant eyes. I don't know what to call it. But yeah, I'm just.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the other things that people experience sometimes when they're having these kind of encounters with, whether it be Dogman or Sasquatch. There's always, not always, but a lot of times people are having other weird things like what they believe to be infrasound or mind speak and those kind of things in the woods. And sometimes it's even orbs and strange lights. Are you having any of that stuff going on in the woods when you're having these experiences with these creatures?
I've seen orbs in the woods when I was younger, when I was 15. I haven't seen it since. It was up in Conover. It's right by the Wisconsin UP border, and my uncle had a cabin on a private lake up there, so he took us up there, and I saw blue orbs from the pine trees come down, me and my cousin, and we were in a little paddle boat. It was like 11 at night. We started freaking out and paddled the other way, but I haven't seen orbs in the woods since then. But yeah, I hear orbs associated with these beings all the time. I believe there's quite a few Native American tribes that talked about them appearing as blue orbs at night. But yeah, that's not one that I've seen. I see them. I'll see them literally disappear. Like, you lock onto them, you're looking at them, like you're literally making eye contact, and then they just dissipate into their surroundings.
So no other like mind speak or any other weird infrasound kind of things going on around associated with?
Yeah, infrasound. Yeah, I believe there's no way to prove it. I can prove the pictures and videos. There's no way to prove the infrasound thing, but I believe that they've projected like a fear onto you. That's happened quite a few times. I found, again, all this is on video. I went to a different part of the forest, and I found a spot that I just called the kill zone. There's cow bones out there. There's not a farm. It's Wisconsin, but there's not a farm anywhere around here where this is. There's cow bones, bird bones, and there's a deer antler that I found in this little circle, and there is structures all around it. So the first time I went out that way, I was incredibly afraid, like something, it's like a wall just hit you. And yeah, it's a lot of fear. And then I got a video of one the other day. I started feeling the fear. So that's what I call infrasound, when you start feeling this fear. And I believe that they, just my belief right now, currently, they project it through their mouth, and they show their teeth, and their teeth are almost always extremely white. Like, it's really weird, like bright white, like something you'd see out of a, whatever, celebrity with, some kind of teeth whitening. It's like extremely white. So yeah, that's
Let's
about
talk a
that.
little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the photos and videos, right? You
Yeah.
sent me several videos, and we went back and forth a little bit on Facebook, and I said, "Are you okay with me posting these?" And you were like, "Sure." So I posted them on social media. I think the first video that I posted on TikTok is at about 330,000 views at this point, right? There's been a
Oh,
lot of
really?
interest. Yeah, there's been a lot of interest about your video. And I'll be honest, I have a hard time seeing in some of the shots and the photos what you see, right? And that's been the
Mm-hmm.
gist of what I see with the people that have seen the videos and the photographs. So I guess my question to you is, you're having these interactions, and there's a couple of the videos and the photos. I can see something there, right? I can't definitively say what I see. And that's been the gist of what I've gotten from the people on the comments. And it's either one of two things. Yes, I absolutely see it, and that's terrifying. Holy shit, that thing's looking at me. Or it's the complete
Yeah.
opposite. It's nothing. It's a nothing burger, right? Have you
Right.
experienced that with people already? And help me understand that, because if you're having these interactions and you're seeing these things as much as you are, and you're filming them and taking those photos, is there something that's preventing you from getting that clear, definitive, all right, you guys shut the hell up. Here it is, 100% in HD quality video, or here's that photograph that shuts all that down, and there's no way of misconstruing it to be something else, I guess, is the question I have for you. Have you got that? And I
Yeah.
just haven't seen it, or how do you react or respond when people have that kind of reaction to your stuff?
Yeah. So again, this is what I have in this Google Pixel that I'm talking to you on. So what happens is I'll send this stuff to people, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know." But anytime I'm with somebody in person, I don't know if it's because it's the original copy and sending things, they're like, "Holy shit, dude!" When I show people the original, on my phone on this camera, they're like, "Holy shit!" I thought you were kind of going nuts until you sat there and showed it to me. Also, that's what I'm looking at, is just getting a high quality camera. There's just so much information out there. I want to get the right one. If you're going to spend, whatever, a couple $1,000s on something, you want to, I don't know anything about cameras. I don't even have a computer right now. So, I mean, like, I'm not a tech person. Yeah, I know the videos can be even more clear, but like, I saw people on the site saying that it was CGI and all this, with this guy, but that's the video, that guy right there. That's one of them that you posted. You can see his hair, you can see his nose, you can see when you pause it, you can see their pupils, you can see all that. Especially in the originals, and then what happens when you're there, there's no mistaking it when you're sitting there. Like, you can't explain what that feels like. And I recorded 4 videos of that guy, and after the 4th video, the whole cedar tree bent down and snapped back. I didn't see him do it. I don't know how it happened. But yeah, weird, or I'll be recording them, and all of a sudden rocks are coming through branches, and you hear stuff running behind you, and there's nothing there. Sticks are breaking. Yeah, it's a whole different ball game when you're there in person. recording that. So yeah, I mean, people are always going to say, no matter what you have, people are always going to say the opposite. And some people may agree, but I mean, hey, if you're ever in Wisconsin, I can show you some of this stuff, as long as you can't tell anybody where this is or where I'm taking you, because that's the thing. I'm trying to keep it. I don't want these spots to be blown up, and I'm trying to keep it, cool with these beings. I don't want to end up on the missing 411 myself. I'm trying to keep it. But yeah, I'd be glad to show you some of it.
And I appreciate that, because what happens is, this is an encounter show. People tune into my show week after week to hear encounter stories, right? That's what everybody wants to hear. And I get that a lot. What do you do to vet the people that come on the show? And honestly, there's not a whole lot of that to it, because you can't prove an anecdotal story. It's I saw something in the woods by myself. And so my philosophy on that is you take what you want and leave the rest. You hear somebody's story and you believe it or not. But here's the difference, I think, when you put forth photographs and videos. People tend to have a higher standard or a higher threshold for they want to know more, right? It's the Tide standing thing, right? Every time Tide puts out video, everybody wants to know more about it. And there's people on both sides of that fence. So, and that's why I asked the question. And I've had people reach out to me, because I've said I was going to get you on the show. And I would be disingenuous and I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't ask some of those questions about, do you have clear pictures? Do you have better video? Because again, I have a hard time seeing in some of those instances what you see. So I'm not saying it's not there, right? And obviously, like you said, I'm not with you when you're doing these videos and taking these photographs. So that's a whole nother ball of wax in and of itself. You're there, you're in the experience. It's an anecdotal experience for you, because nobody else can, outside of looking at the videos and either seeing what you see or not seeing it. So I guess that's where those questions are coming from. And, if you have more videos and pictures, people are going to want to see it. And I can tell you now, they're probably going to get some people visiting your Forest Spirits and Foraging YouTube after this comes out, because they're going to want to go straight to the horse's mouth and see what you've got. And I will certainly post as many of those things that you send me on the website, and I'll drive them over to your YouTube as well, so they can take a look at the original stuff.
Nobody's on there right now. It's just, again, it was like stuff that I was just sending to my friends that I put on there. So, but I can
so many. That when this happens, when this comes out, it's going to change. They're going to go and check out your YouTube channel, and I want them to be prepared for what they're going to see. So that's why we're kind of having this conversation now.
Yeah, right.
So I guess when you're going back and you're continuously having these kinds of encounters with these things, you're clearly, I don't know if developing a relationship with them is the right word. How do you feel about that? Do you think this is a clan of these things? Do you think it's a family unit? Do you think they're coming and going because there is a little bit more than the flesh and blood thing? How do you feel when you're interacting with them? What's the sense that you get from, where they're coming from and maybe where they're going?
So there's multiple different forests that I'm actually going into. The main one, I think it's a clan. You ever see, like, when they put the chips or collars on wolves? You ever see, like, the video? So they'll, like, separate a clan with the colors, and you see the picture of where the wolves all go, and they, like, meet, but there's these boundary lines that you can see. I think that's what's going on with them. And the one clan that I've, kind of ingratiated myself with, it's always very calm and cool there. I actually did put up a trail camera there as well, which is I don't know if I ever sent you any of those pictures or what. I'll tell you about that. But in the other areas I go to, it's a lot less welcoming. And yeah, when it comes to pictures, these things are, they almost appear as like a translucent kind of appearance often. That's how I see them. It's hard to get like I mean, I have what I believe are great physical pictures and videos for sure, but it's hard to get that. So
The
yeah,
area
I
that,
think.
the area that you have the trail cam in, are you getting anything as far as photographs on the trail cam?
Oh, so I had it up for 4 days. So I talked to them. It may sound nuts. The whole thing may sound nuts, whatever, but I talk to them like I'm talking to people, and I believe that's the best way to connect to them. And so I put up a camera. It was up for 4 days. I'll send you all the stuff about it. And I put out apples. I was a Tacticam. I bought the expensive HD card. I paid for the subscription to get it sent to your phone right away. And the first night, you see these beams of like non-physical energy coming in, and the apples are gone. So the morning, you see it's either a possum or a raccoon there, and there's one apple left. But these beams of non-physical energy are coming in towards the apples, and the camera picked that up, and it was up there for 4 days. I got a notification. It was a Sunday. It was like 2:30. The camera was facing the sky, so I got out there. Luckily, I was kind of close to the area at the time, and I was out there within 40 minutes. And I thought either somebody's stealing my camera or they took it down. And the camera was laying on the tree, so I had it facing their main structure. The camera was laying face up next to the cedar tree that I put it on. I couldn't find the strap and the buckle anywhere, but SD card was in it. And this is all on my thing too. Walking out there, there's 4 black panels. I never touched these panels. And you can see their dermal ridges, like their fingerprints are on the camera. So they tried to like grab it and take it off. I still have it in the other room over here. I haven't put it out since because I'm like, their fingerprints are on it. I'm all, I don't know. It's kind of like a trophy or something at this point. But so their fingerprints are on the front, and then it looks like they tried to bite through the buckle part. There's all these marks in it, and then the strap is just ripped. So they ripped it. I found the strap and the buckle like 15 feet away in between 2 trees. So it's almost like they threw it or something, and the camera was laying there. So yeah, that was that experiment. And I'm not ever going to put it up back over there because I'm trying to keep a good relationship with them. I might put it in somewhere else, but also the fingerprints are on it, which is really cool. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to extract that or what, but
I'd definitely like to see at least some photographs of the fingerprints. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. I'll send you all that.
So I guess at the end of the day,
I can go get it if you want. It's in the other room. I don't know if you can see it on here, but it's up to you, whatever.
Yeah, just send me some photos of it. We'll post it on the website and let folks take a look at it. I guess at the end of the day, for me, a couple of questions for you is and again, it's subjective, and we kind of covered this, but I guess the question for you is, what do you think these things are? And what do you want to tell the people that are listening about your situation and them just in general? What's the general takeaway that you want everybody to sort of take away about your experiences and just these things in general? If you could just put that out there in the zeitgeist for people that are listening.
Yeah. What they are is some kind of, I don't know if you want to call it interdimensional being. It's something that merges in between worlds, or at least is able to vibrate outside of the average, the visible light spectrum of the average human. So they have it. I guarantee you, I promise you, it's not some flesh and blood undocumented thing, like straight flesh and blood. There's other stuff going on here. And what I would say is just, respect nature, respect the forest, tune in with the forest. When you go out there, tune in with it. Like really use your internal guidance system in the stomach, not the mind. The mind is more of going to be guided by more of the ego and everything else. Like literally listen to your gut. And you'll start uncovering and finding some amazing stuff.
Definitely good advice, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Jake, and sharing your experiences. Everybody go over and check out Forest Spirits and Foraging, and check out Jake's YouTube. The videos and all the things we talked about are there. I will also post them on our social media, and I will post them on the website once he sends it all over. So make sure you head over to paranormalworldproductions.com. Check out the Sasquatch Odyssey blog at the top, and you'll get to see everything we've talked about. Jake, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I've had a good time talking to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Things change by the week, so I'd come on anytime, and I'll keep showing you, sending you what I got going on, and yeah, I appreciate it.
They say